All right, well, the media glorifies communist China. Our own southern border is falling apart thanks to Joe Biden's reckless policies. Now, don't take my word for it. That's what a smuggler told townhall.com's Julia Rosas on the border just last night.
Es más fácil para mover la gente con el presidente Biden.
Ah, sí.
¿Por qué?
¿Le está dando asilo?
¿Porque lo dan asilo?
Sí, muchos están allá. Más que nada por los niños.
¿Y este negocio era más difícil bajo de Trump?
Sí, cómo no.
¿Por qué?
Tenía las lanchas día y noche.
Now, Biden's policies are emboldening criminals and human trafficking, and he's getting sued by law enforcement. Texas sheriffs and ICE agents are taking the administration to court for preventing them from enforcing the current law. Joining us now is Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. I had the honor and privilege of serving with you in the United States Congress. I know you're passionate about this issue and have looked deeply into it, but the media team seems to be totally ignoring what's going on the border. What are you seeing up close and personal?
Well, I've been down to the border 3 times in the last 4 months to be able to see what's going on in this area that I track a lot. It's amazing just listening to that clip that the smugglers are excited about President Biden, but when President Trump this week goes down to the Border Patrol agents are excited to see President Trump. So we got to figure out if we're going to be loyal to the smugglers or loyal to the Border Patrol agents that are trying to guard our nation on this. I would tell you, here's what I've seen. The wall is unfinished. President Biden has literally hired contractors to be able to watch the steel that's laying down there so people don't steal the gates and everything that will probably never be installed under President Biden. There is an easy way to be able to secure that steel. It's actually install it, by the way. The levees are down in Texas because that was part of the construction as well. The Border Patrol chief that was actually very effective under President Trump has now been fired by President Biden. They are changing the rules on asylum to allow more people in. They're looking at contacting people that President Trump actually deported because they were criminal aliens and telling them, hey, the rules have changed. You can now come back. We have the highest number of people illegally crossing the border the last 3 months in a row. And on top of all that, President Biden has stopped enforcing actually the law in the inside of the country. While everyone's focused on the border, we have 6,000 ICE agents in the country. They only made 3,000 deportations all of last month because the ICE agents are being told to be able to stand down. If you can imagine 6,000 ICE agents, 3,000 deportations in a month because they cannot actually do their job. So it's not just the border and him opening up the border, but it's also stopping enforcement inside the country.
Yeah, I hope people at home appreciate what this means. What that means is the criminal element of those people that are coming here, they're not being deported. I thought it was bad enough when it was Obama Biden. There were more than 60,000 instances where those people got caught doing something illegal. And guess what? Some of them served time, some of them didn't, but they were ordered by a federal judge to leave, but they didn't do that. Obama just released them out of the homeland. Now the people that were deported are actually being invited, literally invited, right, by President Biden to come back into the United States.
That's correct. They're being invited to be able to come back. Obviously, they're looking at what President Trump did, which he just enforced the law. That's all he was doing. He was right. He was right in the way that he was doing it. He was enforcing the law. President Biden steps in and says, we're not going to enforce the law, and he just assumes things are going to turn out right. What happens is chaos when you don't actually enforce the law. That's why these Border Patrol agents are so good at what they do. They're not going over the top. They've got families. They care about people and compassionate, but they also care about American law. If there's anything that we can stand for at this time, especially around the 4th of July, you go back to the most basic principle. The law is king in our country. That's a founding principle of our founding documents. We need to be able to enforce the law. I've already stepped up and said I'm not going to allow any more DHS folks to be able to come through in the whole process of selection and confirmation. I'm going to block every one of them until they start actually enforcing the law. And then we're going to get that border fence done and stop having them just guard the pieces of the fence. Put the fence up. We've already paid for it. Get that done.
Yeah, good for you to put a hold on all of those people. Look at this headline from the Daily Caller about the types of people that are coming in here. And again, illegal immigrants break into Texas home. They steal guns, ammo, and food. The Customs and Border Patrol agents in Sierra Blanca responded to a report about a county home that was burglarized. I mean, these aren't just all nice, sweet people. This is human trafficking. There's a lot of drugs coming through as well.
Yeah, we have records amounts of drugs that are coming across the border right now. Customs and Border Protection has stated that. Border Patrol has stated that. We're seeing that on our streets right now. And it's not just folks in the Northern Triangle. That's this big statement, this big lie that's coming out of the administration. These are just poor folks coming out of the Northern Triangle. When I was down at the border last time, they said that just this year, over 100 different countries have illegally crossed our border just this year. Literally, people are coming from all over the world because they know they can pay the cartels, come across the border and come in because President Biden is opening up the borders. We've got to enforce the law again. We'll keep pushing.
Senator, thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Have a wonderful Independence Day. Appreciate your work on the border.